Moving on, Taliban authorities in Afghanistan have asked television broadcasters to ensure that female presenters on local stations cover their faces when on air. The ruling came 2 weeks after all women were ordered to wear a face veil in public or risk punishment. After they seized power in Afghanistan in August, the Taliban initially appeared to have moderated their restrictions somehow, announcing no dress code for women. But in recent weeks, they have taken a sharp headline pivot that confirmed the worst fears of right activists.
Taliban authorities in Afghanistan have asked television broadcasters to ensure that female presenters on local stations cover their faces when on air. The move comes days after authorities ordered women to cover their faces in public, a return to a policy of the Taliban's past hardline rule and an escalation of restrictions that are causing anger at home and abroad. Most Afghan women wear a headscarf for religious reasons, but many in urban areas such as Kabul do not cover their faces. During the Taliban's last rule from 1996 to 2001, it was obligatory for women to wear the all-encompassing blue burqa.
Since the Taliban came to power, women and girls' rights have been rolled back in areas of great importance to their lives, like access to education, employment, and healthcare, basically even to move around freely. And the consequences are that women and girls are excluded from public life. These restrictions also severely limit Afghanistan's ability to respond to the catastrophic humanitarian situation, which again may lead to violence and radicalization and instability in the country and the region.
Taliban overthrew the elected government of Afghanistan last August, established a Stone Age regime with barbaric laws and reversed centuries of women's achievements. The hardliners deprived millions of Afghan women of their right to education, ousted tens of thousands of women from jobs, and banned women's businesses and all sorts of activism. Today they have crushed the women of Afghanistan and have plunged them into the dark ages again. The Afghan woman has now lost even the right to life. In March, the Taliban backtracked on their announcement that high schools would open for girls, saying they would remain closed until a plan was drawn up in accordance with Islamic law for them to reopen. Then last week, the group's supreme leader, Habibatullah Akhundzada, said that if a woman did not cover her face outside home, her father or closest male relative would be visited and face potential prison or firing from state jobs. Recently, UK's ambassador to the United Nations, Barbara Woodward, at a UN meeting said that such kinds of orders underline the Taliban's inability to lead Afghanistan out of its current economic, social, and humanitarian crisis. She further added that it's hard to see that international community and importantly the Afghan people will ever respect the Taliban as legitimate authorities if this is the future for Afghanistan.
They want to remove women and girls entirely from public life. But as the UK's Minister for Afghanistan, Lord Ahmed, has said previously in the Council, Islam is clear on equality for girls and the rights of women. It's hard to see that the international community, and importantly the Afghan people, will ever respect the Taliban as legitimate authorities if this is the future for Afghanistan that they pursue. Because half its population are women and girls who will not and should not have to accept a life banished to the sidelines, nor will their brothers, fathers or sons. So it's regressive, it's wrong, and I think it underlines the Taliban's inability to lead Afghanistan out of its current economic and social and humanitarian crisis.
A century ago, Afghanistan's women were free. They enjoyed the right to education, the right to political participation, and the right to movement. Even till the 1970s, more than 60% of the Kabul University students were women, and they had equal participation in many state institutions. Under Taliban rule, the rights of women and girls have worsened, and Afghanistan is facing a desperate humanitarian and economic crisis. It is so hard to imagine how much has changed for so many in so little time. Where once there was hope with women playing a central role in society, there is now hunger, destitution, and violence. Afghan women are urging the international community to step in and support the women's rights activists